What's up, guys? This is Cory Talaska here, and we're going to be doing starting the car for the 2020 season prep. It's still sitting basically exactly how we unloaded it from last event, which was now months ago. It's still got the nice bent tie rod underneath there, which we'll get straightened. It was fun getting it in the garage for sure. But what we're going to start by doing is stripping the whole car. So I'm going to pull, not the whole car, but I'm going to pull all the over fenders off, doors, trunk lid, wing, hood, all that stuff. So we got full access to the car because we are going to be doing a ton of stuff in the interior. Just because of going to Pro 2 and some of the rulebook changes, there's going to be a lot of work done in here. And then also pulling the 2J out. But since this is the first time the 2J is coming out, that I'm going to go through and do a lot of labeling and make sure everything is able to go back in super easy. And then I got the trailer out there that I cleaned up that I'm going to put all these parts in, because obviously my garage is super clean and lots of space. So that's where we're going to start. We got everything stripped, the rest of the stuff's in the trailer, and the car is much more naked now. Nothing really happened in the left rear. The left front still has some damage from the hit with Mike Perez at Hyperfest a long time ago, which is actually where we saw this, which we didn't notice. So this is stuff that we're all going to fix when we pull the engine. We're going to weld all that back together. Right front, everything seems to be pretty good except for the tie rod, so hopefully that's the only casualty. And then in the right rear, we got this nice dent. Kind of adjusted this whole area, but in the over fender, I didn't even know this was here. The over fender literally doesn't have a scratch on it, so we'll be able to kind of beat this back from the panel that we take off right here, hit it out. It probably won't. This bottom part won't be perfect again, but it doesn't matter. You won't be able to really tell with the wrap and everything. So tearing her down. So actually a few people noticed it, but not many at MDU, about that half my headlights cut out on both sides. So because our intercooler is basically upside down. That's why a couple of people asked me on Instagram why the M's upside down. Well, I didn't put the M there. Mishimoto put it by default, but we put the whole thing upside down, so we didn't have to have any of our intercooler piping down. And you can see how less of charge piping there is. It's just a straight shot from here into the turbo, and then there's literally only this little section other than the elbow and the reducer here. So pretty sweet. So we got most of the car stripped. There's a few things left around like the inside the car towards the back. But now I'm kind of going through, and some of the wires on the Wiring Specialties harness we didn't use, so I'm marking those not used. Like our alternator, it's self-exciting, so I don't need this giant cable. I can get it back instead of zip tying it out. And then I pulled the fuel rail out. And now I'm pulling the whole intake out, so I got to pull the throttle cable, or at least disconnect the throttle cable from the throttle body and everything to pull this out to get to the whole mess down here. There's like fuel and power steering fluid everywhere because fantastic stuff happened in the middle of tuning and the event, but we'll get it all cleaned up. So intake's out, fuel rail's out, fuel and power steering fluid everywhere. Take care of that. I put some paper towel in there before I clean any of this up because I don't want to get anything inside. This whole setup literally went in for 2 events, for a test day and for the comp event, and it paid off. It worked. We did what we achieved what we set out to do. We weren't really expecting it. Well, like, of course, we're gonna come out here and we're gonna compete. We're gonna try to win. We're gonna do our best. But as you know, seeing the competitiveness at the event, it was like crazy, and it was really sick to, you know, perform well. And I'm really excited for next year, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. But there is a good amount we have to do to the car because Pro 2 is kind of like on another level this year with some changes in the rule book. Our poor little ZF Trans is not going to cut it because of now requiring SFI bell housing. So we're going to, you know, going the route of a dog box or a sequential. There's some things in the works with that, you know, hopefully it makes it easier on us to go into something like that. And I don't really know what we have planned for the engine. We were kind of thinking, do we put nitrous on it? Do we go a bigger turbo? You know, we're not 100% sure the engine performed like super well. One thing that did happen is it did get a little bit warmer than we wanted to, so maybe we bump up to some bigger, better fans. Maybe we have to go to a bigger rear radiator. I feel like ours is big enough compared to what I've seen, but you know, and then we're gonna kind of mess around with our overflow and our swirl pot stuff to try to, maybe there was just something not as perfect as it could be to just for the whole cooling system. So we're going to try to better that. We're going to remake the whole rear firewall. We're going to make, instead of how the radiator lines go through, just through, and sealing it all up, which worked really well, zero smoke. We're going to bulkhead it, so that's going to be way better. We're going to drop the fuel tank, put a fuel cell in. Actually, some of the bracing that we added just for the end of last year, it's kind of dark, like this pipe across and stuff, we're gonna cut that out and then remake stuff just for the fuel cell. This was kind of, we knew that we were welding this stuff in as a temporary, and we are back halving the car. There's 2 big pallets coming from Big Duck Club from over in Cali, and that's gonna be hook up like, you know, full fiberglass trunk lid, the little filler piece that kind of goes underneath here, and then also the rear overs that have included this whole rear piece. Like right now, this is all car, but this is all going to get cut out. We'll probably clean up this whole section a little bit too. I'm not a super master fabricator, but now I think we can make things a little bit better. So aside from the stuff that we just talked about, I'm gonna do fire suppression. We're gonna do new coils. We partnered with Yellow Speed for this year, so that's gonna be super sick. We're gonna be running their full 3-way drift spec setup. We're gonna kind of tweak everything, figure out exactly what we need with them, and that's gonna be really cool. Luckily, I don't have to mess really with wiring or brakes at all. We may do something power-wise, and then we gotta redo some of the fabrication stuff, but other than that, that kind of really covers everything. As long as we can figure out drivetrain, fabrication, and that we're legal, that's pretty much like the ticket. And then we got to figure out, you know, which we kind of do, but I'll talk about that in another video, is our race program. Who's coming with us, you know, what we're doing, what events we're going to, maybe besides FD, what I'm going to do for a seat-time car, which is happening, which is my daily right now, E46 M3, which I'm working with some of my sponsors to kind of get that ready too. So that's kind of everything as an update. Really, 2J kind of changed the game for us. This season was really crazy. This one event was crazy, and I'm really excited for next year and to work on the car. So, peace.